I'm going to peel off my electrode, look for the tabs, and there they are. And you'll see on the underside of the electrode, right in the center of these tabs are two spots of gel. And that is what we want to clip the EMG alligator clip to, right on the tab. You want to make sure that the metal of the clip is biting right into the gel, because that's what's going to give us our electrical contact to the patient. So now I have the clips attached right to both tabs. I come around here. Now, we want to make sure that we don't put the EMG electrode on her hair, so we'll pull the hair back just a little bit. The temporalis fans out across the head like this. So we're going to take this electrode and place it right between the eyebrow and the hairline, and just press it right on, just like that. And you can lay this EMG wire just behind the ear. You'll notice that I have the alligator clips pointing backwards. You could have them clipped this way, that's not going to hurt anything, but then the EMG wires hang in the patient's face and can be distracting. Now we're going to do the masseter on the left-hand side. Be careful not to peel it so fast that you tear the gel off from the bottom of the electrode, because then it won't work. Look for my tabs, clip the electrodes right to the tabs on the gel, and now we're ready to do the masseter. Now again, as I said, the masseter runs from the corner of the jaw to the corner of the eye typically. I'm going to palpate for it. Don't bite for me. I can feel the masseter right there. Just going to set the electrode right over it. Go ahead and relax. Press that electrode on. Just press slightly. Again, the easiest way to find the SEM is ask the patient to turn their head all the way to one side. Put your chin over your right shoulder and look down. You'll see how that pulls out the SEM. There's the SEM. We'll place it right in the center of the muscle. Okay, you can relax and just let your head relax. And we'll just slightly press and hold that electrode there just for a moment and let it kind of adhere to the skin. Now the digastrics I've always found to be the easiest, so we're going to have our patient stare at the ceiling, look all the way up. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the line of the side of the electrode and run it right along the bone of the mandible. So we put one here. And with the digastric, what I like to do is just pull the tabs down a little bit so that the clips of the wire are hanging straight down. What that does is it puts all the pressure of the wire, the weight of the wire, right in the center of the EMG electrode, and it sticks to the skin really well. So you just kind of pull them and let those two hang straight down. You'll notice the tip of the EMG electrode is right about midline, so that when I put the next electrode on, they won't be overlapping, because these are really the only two electrodes that are really close to each other, and we don't want one electrode lying over the top of the other. So I'm just going to do the other digastric real quick here. Just pulling those tabs down. Now with the digastrics, what we like to do is just kind of put our fingers over the tabs and say, okay, go ahead and look down, and just apply real light pressure on them just for a second. Okay. Now we have all of the electrodes set up. We have both masseters, temporalis, SCMs, and digastrics hooked up to the patient. The last electrode that we need to place is the ground electrode. Now, this is going to go on the patient's shoulder, and what I have here are not EMG electrodes, but rather the electrodes that we sell for our TENS unit. Even if you don't own a TENS unit, we do recommend that you order these electrodes for your ground wire. And the reason for that is the ground is the wire that's going to really complete the circuit and give you good noise rejection, or make sure, in other words, make sure that you're only recording muscle activity. And what you'll see is if we compare the TENS electrode to the small little squares of gel on the EMG electrode, it gives us a much bigger contact area and a better ground. So we use our TENS electrode, just place it right on the shoulder, just like this. Now the ground wire is the one that has only one alligator clip, and we just clip that to the little black tab on the TENS electrode and let that hang down. Now we're ready to place the EMG amplifier, and we put that on the patient just like we do when we're doing joint vibration analysis. I'm going to reach underneath the wires here, take this strap, just go underneath all the wires and let that hang. Now you'll notice I've hit the toggle switch so the EMG light is on, okay? Because now we're not recording JVA, we're recording electromyography. Now we take the wire from the temporalis And you'll notice here we have channel 1 and it's red. We're going to go ahead and plug that in, pushing firmly to make sure the wire goes in all the way. Taking this red wire, plugging it in the opposite side. The next one is gray. This is, when you're new, color coding the wires and putting them on in order does make it a little bit easier to make sure you have everything plugged in correctly. It is important that you do have the right wire plugged into the right channel. For example, you'll see the top of the EMG amp here between the two red arrows says temporalis anterior. So you want to make sure that both of those wires are running to the right and left temporalis respectively. This gray wire is going to her right or left masseter. And right here, I've screwed up my color coding. Okay, I have the blue wire to the masseter and the gray wire to the SCM. That's okay because, like I said, all the wires are the same, but we need to make sure that we plug it into the correct channel. Otherwise, when we're recording this, if she has a hyperactive masseter and I have it plugged into the wrong channel, it'll show up as a hyperactive SCM. So I'm going to take this wire and plug it into the masseter channel. Take the wire attached to her SCM, plug it in there. And the digastric, I'm just doing the whole right side. Plug that in firmly. Then I have the last two on this side. This blue wire leads to her SCM, so I plug it in here. And our last one, the digastric.